It feels good to be here again.
Welcome back to season 2
Season 2.
of Comfort is a Coffin.
Season 2, episode 1, or just season 2, but we're on episode 8.
I'm just saying season, so that explains why we haven't really been recording.
Ah.
We have no excuse.
Well, we could get more into it when in future episodes or even in this episode.
Okay.
Because I definitely want to show people some of the stuff we've been doing. I think mostly I would say doing a lot of mental health work while also tackling on the physical health and like
Yes.
sticking to a plan and kind of starting the journey and taking care of ourselves better. And I think like the first part of it is kind of hard to balance. Balance is always like something that's hard to for me to like achieve. So finding balance to like come back and do the podcast and keep doing all these other things also while like going through a job change, for me it feels good. It feels like, yeah.
I'm very glad that you decided to change jobs and the company you're working for now. It seems like you're very excited to work with them, and
Yeah.
that's not easy to find.
No, this is actually the most excited I've ever been in any kind of job. And it's, I mean, it's in a similar field, in the retail field, but just the way that I'm spoken to and the way that the company goes about certain things just makes a lot of sense. And it feels good to be with like, be in a place where the mindset isn't so set in stone necessarily that they're not open for improvement. I feel like bureaucracy is like a huge thing, even in businesses that have been around for a long time, because they have all these procedures and all these things that they have to do because of what they've seen and what they've gone through. But at some point, when you're not open to changing things radically, like it won't change, you know? So this new company definitely to me feels like not that they're necessarily changing everything, but they're taking things on in a different way that I haven't seen in retail. And yeah, it's cool. It's really nice.
They're changing the game.
Yeah. The big thing with them is like you grow here, and a lot of places talk about leadership and growing and in those terms. But like one thing that sticks to me is that a lot of them want you to take the growth that you find at work and like bring it into your personal life. And at first I just thought like, oh, okay, you know, whatever, to some extent.
Whatever.
Like, okay, but no, I notice it's bleeding through just even some minor concepts. And yeah, I've been more organized. I've been just even though I'm still like working to be like way more motivated in certain aspects, I'm still very I'm happy. I'm happier. Yeah.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm excited for you. You're doing good too.
I am.
Killing it, girl.
I am trying.
You already
I
are. You don't have to
I'm doing
try.
significantly
Well,
better. I don't know. I forgot what I talked about in some of the last episode.
I'm not even sure. I mean,
A monster.
we might repeat ourselves. We might say stuff that
You have already heard. I'm
maybe,
sorry.
well, not even just that, just, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But it matters that I want you to share like about yourself, no matter what it is.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank
but
you.
it should matter if you repeat yourself a little bit or myself a little bit.
Yes. What I was gonna say is, I'm taking medication for my anxiety, which I realize is in part due to a mental hormonal processing issue called PMDD, which is common in common in people who have periods, who have ADHD, or like possibly, I think maybe autism as well.
Like on the spectrum in a way.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're neurodivergent, or more significantly neurodivergent, but yeah, it's common in with women or people with periods with ADHD, and it sucks, but I didn't realize that I was living something with this my whole life, because it would be strange, because I'm like, I'm not always this sad and angry, but I am today, and I have no reason to be. But I never noticed really the pattern until like I read about my symptoms in something else, because I'm like, I don't know if it's PMS or if it's something else, because um at some point when we took one of those brain altering
Substances.
substances,
Sure. That
um
might have happened.
yes, when I was doing really bad, because it did me a lot of good when I was going through like a deep depression. And when I took that, it like helped a lot the first time. But then this time, when it was like with the PMDD, like really, really bad, like it was like I almost was like, I need I need to go somewhere. Like I need to go
Mm.
away. I need a grippy sock vacation. Um and so I thought I was that bad, but I'm like, I'm not always this bad, like. And when it didn't work with that substance, I kind of knew. I'm like, okay, this must be something that's like more hormonal, because that one was more like, I am assuming based on like dopamine or oxytocin or
Yeah.
serotonin,
Well,
and
I think it's
uh,
all wrapped up with psilocybin too, like
yeah,
the substance we're talking about. Psilocybin's its own thing, right? And like it definitely affects the brain. I don't know how it affects like in having like certain hormones like be made or be produced or brought into the system. But I'm sure there's some kind of swing in hormones and chemicals in the brain for sure with it.
yeah,
Yeah, maybe it's just not the one that you were looking for, right?
yeah. No, like I knew I was fine during like the height of it, but the next day I felt the same as the way before. Like my depression didn't feel like it was gone.
Hmm.
It was just like consistent, like filthy sadness and anger, that I'm just kind of like, like, why do I keep living like this? Like, I don't, I'm like, why do men have it so easy? Or like, I was even thinking all women had this, and not all women do. And that's what got me concerned, because I'm just like, if my mom has something like this, that would explain a lot of things with her,
Oh yeah.
and a lot of things with me, because recently I asked her questions that would kind of like tell me if she's had the extreme side of it like I have.
Mm-hmm.
And like she's like, yeah, I think about hurting people like that too. And I'm just kind of like, and you thought you
Sorry.
were okay?
Yeah.
And like I
Well,
thought I was okay, because I thought my mom thought like that, and I thought all women were thinking like that. But I was told by a therapist, no, but they don't all think like that.
I remember when you would first like talk to me about those kinds of feelings and how they would get like much stronger like right before
Yeah,
your period and like going into it. And I hadn't noticed it like at some point like I was just like cuz you've always kind of had darker thoughts and when you were a kid you had a lot of night terrors and I'm sure you've talked about that.
yeah,
But because of that like I always just thought that you not that you were negative at all but like your mind is very dark sometimes,
yeah.
not in a bad way. It's just kind of like you think of like the worst so you can because you're like we're not gonna fucking fall into that shit like
You're like, this bitch's been through some shit.
yeah. That's the best way to say that. But yeah like I feel oh man I hate when that happens. How many times does that happen on this podcast when I lose my train of thought?
Like 7 times.
Yeah, we've had 7
In
episodes.
season
That's
one.
why every episode wait, season 2 starting off a banger. Woo!
Banger. We're roasting each other.
Watch, I'm gonna when I'm editing, I'm gonna be like, damn it, I had a point, and then I might add it here. If nothing got added, then I didn't have a point.
This was the point.
This was a point, yay!
Insert point if found.
um, yeah, I think the point was that I used to think that it was a lot darker, that you were a lot darker, but I realized that your hormone changes around that time of the month for you, or that time in your cycle. It got worse, and I always thought that the worst was like, oh, she's just like that. My wife,
You're
I
like, the
gotta do
worst
my
is
best to protect her.
coming.
No, I just thought that you were like not telling me about it. So when you would
Oh,
like seem worse, I was just like, damn, she struggles with this every day. Fuck, I haven't been doing enough. Like I
oh
was just
yeah,
like,
I
I
would be
should.
bawling every day, every other
Yeah,
day. It was like almost every other hour.
but then I realized like it was more of a cycle where like yeah you deal with your things, but like the hormonal issue also exacerbates everything that you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you were explaining that it's not really like it is a hormonal thing, but it's more like that.
The change in hormones that drive you crazy.
Yeah, like, but not necessarily that you have too much hormones or
Yeah.
too little. It's more like how your body reacts to those hormones in
Yeah.
general. So that's pretty interesting. Like your body is having, it's like a lot of people with immune disorders. Like
Yeah.
they have like something that attacks something that's trying to do something in their own body.
Yeah. It's like a normal function, but then the function actually happens, and then it's just like your body's like, fuck no. We don't want to deal with that.
We don't want to do the work.
It's kind of like allergies, I guess. Like every person has a different like level of immunity, I guess. That I don't have enough in my level, so I get attacked. Whereas for someone who doesn't have allergies gets to just, live their life happy without it. Like, how dare they
Well,
live comfortably?
That used to be me for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I started getting allergies like at the age of 25, 26.
It's my fault.
Maybe. I don't want to say that, but like,
Coachella,
maybe. Because ever since I started going out with you, babe, my allergies have been acting up.
Maybe you've been breathing wrong.
Maybe. I've actually been focusing on breathing through my nose and breathing out through my nose. I know for like working out or any kind of like strength training or like flexibility exercise, it would probably be like breathe in through your nose, breathe out through your mouth. But
yeah,
I'm training myself to breathe in through my nose at all times, especially when I sleep.
I have to because I have a mouth guard.
Oh yeah.
So my teeth are clenching all night.
And with that, I think you wanted to ask me a question, or you wanted to
investigate.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because what was your investigator name or your detective name?
Oh,
I remember.
Tell me.
I think it was a Detective Martinez Aguila. Aguila, or just Detective Aguila.
Detective Aguila. There you go.
Cue the eagle sounds. But you wanted to investigate.
Yeah. Okay. So, with these investigations, I like to pick like a certain day or time in people's lives that I just want to know what the fuck you were doing. What the hell you were doing. I'm sorry.
Okay.
What the hell you were doing that day.
It's
like
fine.
Because like there's certain days where I'm just like, I know I didn't brush my teeth that day because I realized I had bad breath throughout the day, and like, why did I have bad breath? Like, what caused me to end up that way on that specific day?
Okay.
And I just find it fascinating that there's people in the same time and year and spot location that you're just coincidentally together.
Yeah. You might like meet them in the future or might not. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's just like fascinating to me because it's like something almost as like standing in a specific spot so insignificant is like, imagine a guy in like the 1920s just standing here in the middle of the desert and just like looking around and being like, I'm gonna build a house here. And all of a sudden we're here. And we weren't there during that part of the journey, like what was the first day like, what was the last day? So anyway,
yeah, what was the first house like?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, so I want to know about
I won't remember if I didn't brush my teeth on a certain day.
Okay.
Just want to throw that
I
out.
just want to know what happened, like.
Okay.
It's your birthday, August 5th, and you're 5 years old.
I'm 5 years old.
What did they do for your 5th birthday?
I don't remember. Because when I was 5 years old, that's when my dad brought us over from Mexico. So, and I don't remember what time of the year I was brought over, but I was already 5.
You were imported.
So it was before. We must have had a birthday party in Mexico, I'm guessing, unless we came over here near my birthday.
Okay.
I get the feeling we did actually, because there was like some like little get-togethers and stuff once we got to like my uncle's house, but also that was probably just a normal thing. I don't know. That's a good question. My memory's horrible. Like, to be honest, I need to be better.
It's the trauma.
Can I be better? It might be the trauma. I honestly feel like I got some trauma. I don't even know.
Oh, you do.
Because some of my patterns and like habits that I have, I'm just like, man, I really don't understand this, and it's not necessary, but I can't stop myself.
You think I'm bad? I mean, I'm ready to see you shed your skin, babe.
Oh, I
Like,
mean, it's funny because I would have probably been way defensive, like if you had told me that a while back. But it's so true. It's just like the more I notice, like I almost, I don't want this to sound bad, but like I almost feel like a hypocrite when I talk about mental health sometimes, because I'm like, am I even doing the work like I want others to do? Like I think I am, but like,
I'm doing the
like,
work.
am I? I'm actually not technically, because I'm not necessarily with a therapist right now.
Well,
But that's not the only aspect of the work. I don't want to make it sound like I'm not doing anything, because I am doing a lot of different things.
yeah. I mean, I would say you're doing well in your developmental phase of like getting to a place where you're almost ready for therapy. Because, like, first you need to feel safe enough to be vulnerable.
Yeah. Which, thank you.
Yes.
Just throwing that out there.
So, like, you for me, and like for me being able to tell you that, like, oh, yeah, you need therapy, like, that's significant
I
because you
need
just
what?
said, like, oh, a year ago or 2 years ago, I wouldn't have taken it well if you said that. But it's like, you've seen what I've gone through and like the amount of damage that you've seen me like talk about, and like the things that I think about constantly,
Yeah.
and like the noise, like how much I can take in a certain day. And you've been really nice to me and giving me grace to like
Oh,
let myself decompress.
I just want to say that you have also given me a huge amount of grace. You are extremely graceful, and yeah, that's it.
Thank you. But that's also part of my people pleaser personality, which I'm working on, like I'm working on trying not to be like, are you happy with me, master? Like I'm trying to be like, you're satisfied. I'm going. That's enough. So anyway, like um because you're able to like take that comment and like work with it, and like it shows that you love me and that you have enough
I do.
respect and love for yourself that you're like, yeah, I know, but I'm gonna be better than that.
Yeah, I have a lot of respect for us, for you, for myself, and I think like that's a huge grounder, like something that grounds me. Um, yeah,
Yeah, and like I'm very proud of you for like working on it. So like I'm hoping in the next year or so, like that you're like feeling vulnerable enough to like shed it all out and like work on it,
I think I'm.
because
I think I'm getting there too. I feel it. I feel. You know what's lately, and I think you already know this, but lately I've gotten this like huge urge to just dance. And when I was going through like this, what felt like a great metamorphosis, or like a great shedding, like I had a similar like urge, and I would even tell my friends all the time, like, I'm gonna start a Twitch channel and I'm just gonna dance. I'm gonna take my clothes off, and like I always thought it'd be like a funny, like, woo, look at this fucking weirdo, he's dancing for 6 hours straight, he's down to his underwear, oh my god,
like I
like,
was dancing that other day.
yeah, well, yeah, that's what I wanted to do, and I would just wanted to live stream it for like, I would talk about it probably for a year and a half or 2 years. Never did it. I'm sure there's others that have done it by now, but like what during that time, like it just felt so cool to go to festivals and go to music venues, and like to just dance, and if there was no dancing, to create enough buzz with your dancing with other people, like interacting to where people started dancing. But I'm trying to tie that to what's going on right now with me, which is like I've also had this huge urge to dance, and this huge urge to like share that with people somehow, like to like almost throw on like a dance party even. And I feel like I'm only ever able, like, comfortable enough to want to dance around people when I'm like really trusting of them, and for me to just want to dance in general for everyone, like that's a huge improvement in the, and I don't want to say necessarily in the right direction. It seems like improvement to me, because like to me that sounds crazy not long ago, even though I was talking about doing it. Like I don't know if I actually would have necessarily done it at that time. I didn't.
Yeah, and I think that's like it sheds light on the concept of sobriety. Um, like it like makes you realize you didn't really need the drugs to really like express that side of yourself.
Yeah.
And like for me, that was important for my sobriety too. That I'm just like, when we went to the concert we saw MIA, which was awesome, and like I was able to dance
She was a
and
lot
like,
doper than I expected her to be. I just want to
ex-
throw that out there. I was like, fuck.
she's amazing. Um,
Frank was there.
Frank was there. Frank goes out Instagram handle. Frank
Oh
goes
yeah,
out.
Frank goes out on Instagram. Follow him,
Yes,
bitch,
you'll see me holding him.
and me.
Yes. What was I gonna say? I was able to like go out and dance that last like concert because I'm just like, I know this song, I know what I want to be, but then I realized like no one here knows I'm sober. No one here knows I'm gonna dance like a fucking psycho right now. And I
Yeah.
just started like letting loose and like jumping around, hopping around, because no one knows I'm not on drugs except you. Like I had like not even weed, like I had nothing that day. And like I was just like enjoying myself and just like, I'm alive, I'm here.
Made it even better now because you're like
Yeah.
so much more aware of
Yeah.
just like the enjoyment and you enjoying it.
Yeah. And the endorphins from dancing, looking like a clown, like I look silly, but I had fun, you
You
know.
look good.
I look like a dinosaur, like dancing in my little overalls.
I thought it was super cute.
I looked funny, but in a good way. Like I wanted to look very much not like sexually attractive, but like happy attractive. And like, you know, there's nothing wrong with looking sexually attractive, but like I just wanted to flop around and not feel like my flab was out, and like comfortably like jump around because yeah, I can't wear tight clothes and jump around like that. Like the way I was dancing, and I was having a blast. Like, you know, that's why I like dancing in the onesies and jumping around.
I never thought about that.
Like the big pajamas, because I can be just like loosey goosey because no one's seeing how chubby I am, like with tight clothes, but I can move around. Like I just love feeling like I'm not wearing anything, you know.
It's funny because I feel like I'm insecure about like my stomach, even though like I totally didn't used to be, or maybe I have been all along, and like now I'm actually allowing myself to process that, and now I'm just like, oh shit, like it affects me like a lot. Where if I look at myself in the mirror and like my tummy shows more because literally my stomach's a lot bigger than most of my other body parts.
Yeah.
It's just what it is. I don't know. I feel like I'm just trying to say I feel like I'm insecure about it, but I'm going through it and I'm working out and I'm feeling better every day either way.
Yes.
Although we're on a break this week, but
I
we
got
shall
my toes
continue.
done.
You got your
Sorry,
toes.
sorry. Did we finish the talk about your 5th birthday?
Well, I didn't remember, and I
Oh,
was
it's
gonna ask
because
you
you were. That's when your daddy brought you over.
yeah,
You were imported.
I was gonna ask you like for another random date actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know like what date, but I was gonna say what other date would you, or do you want to think of like a specific one that might be special to me, and then ask you?
Let me see.
Should I play the detective?
I mean, you can play detective, but I was gonna ask like to a follow up for your birthday, if you don't mind going back to it.
No.
What would you technically be doing to celebrate your birthday during that time?
I mean, if it's anything like my later birthdays, I mean, it would just be like birthday cake, being around family. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm guessing that like if I'm guessing we celebrated it in Mexico, and then feel like we moved because Leo was already 3. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Another question.
Okay.
As a 5-year-old, like, what was your favorite snack?
As a 5, it's just I can't remember that much from when I was 5 years
I'm
old.
sorry.
That's why that if it's 5 years old, I'm gonna keep struggling.
Okay, what about childhood?
Yeah, like childhood.
Yeah, in general.
Favorite snacks.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Fucking hot Cheetos.
Okay.
And chips, and it wasn't.
We have an answer. Hot Cheeto.
Yeah.
I married a hot Cheeto man.
I need to stop. It's not good.
I got picked on for not eating hot Cheetos.
I bet you did.
Elementary school.
That's how I've. I know way more. Well, yeah, obviously everyone else really loves them, but it's good. I'm proud of you.
I I think because people were so obsessed with them and picked on me for it, it like made me even hate them even more.
Like I ain't gonna have no fucking hot Cheetos. Fuck
Like
you.
one time I was such a brat and like, that's when something was up with me. Like there was a girl like who was like, you should eat hot Cheetos, and like I went and bought a bag because I'm like, why not? I've never tried it, and like I just didn't want to really care for like hot Cheetos. I think also I got nervous because like it would stain, and my
Oh, the
parents would like my mom would give us grief for staining stuff, and then our uniforms were
oh
white, like the shirt. Anyway,
wait. Oh, sorry.
continue. So
I was gonna ask you, what were you doing for your fifth birthday?
shit. I think it might have been a combo birthday with my sister, who was really nice to me and could have also murdered me as a child. But that's any sibling shit, though.
I will say I saw a
That's
video when you were younger than 5, and she was like holding you and dancing, and I was like, damn, you're gonna crack a fucking neck, girl.
yeah.
You best be careful.
She's like like the Mexican dance couple that like
They like
dip and
dip.
like spin you around and flip you.
No
It
wonder
it
you
was
like
a
roller
fun time.
coasters.
Yeah, it was a fun time. I love roller coasters probably because of that.
Wee.
What was I saying? A
Uh,
combo birthday with my sister. Wait, did you have a question?
that was the question.
Okay. At a combo birthday with my sister, probably, and I think we might have worn like these like navy dresses with like pink stripes that was like Barbie, and we had a match. And I feel like she always hated me for that, but I was always like, okay, at least I'm not the only one that looks silly here. And like I could tell she hated that
Oh,
because she wanted to be her own thing. She didn't want to look like me. But
yeah.
anyway, we would end up in like a lot of matching outfits, and like a lot our birthdays sometimes were together, and like um we would share a piñata. I'm pretty sure like I didn't really eat much.
Hmm.
Yeah, I would always want to be in the brinca brinca, the jumping castle, because I didn't, that's all that I wanted to do. And I didn't realize it's an ADHD thing where you just like don't give a shit about everything else, but you're just like happy with that one thing. And you don't understand why, but you just need that stimulation, that like thrill of like a roller coaster of just being thrown around. Like that shit's awesome. Like when you're being thrown around when you're wrestling, like it's amazing. But like I didn't know it was just because it was like a thrilling thing to like feel like weightless in a way,
Yeah.
and to feel like you're flying or just being
Being
like
like slung
woo.
around in a way.
Yeah, like the yeet the child thing.
Eat the child.
Eat the child for their own good. Um, no abuse. Anyway, like I'm pretty sure we had like piñata, DJ, like candy bags that we gave out to all the cousins. They were like all the family friends. That we were a lot of kids,
Hmm.
and like it was a time when people had a lot of kids. I look back at it and I'm like, I don't.
Everyone was probably like young as well, not young as fuck, but I don't know. Yeah, it's just like kind of something that Hispanic. Well, I mean, I think most cultures, right? Like, it's a huge emphasis on making kids and procreating. And technically, that's what the Bible is. It's like just essentially like this doctrine or this paper saying, like in many different ways, like it's important to keep having kids. Like it's sacred to keep having kids, and also this mushroom got us really really high in ways that we connected with God. That's like literally what the Bible is. So
Cite your source.
cite
But
my
I
source,
believe you. But
Joe
cite your
Rogan.
source.
Joe Rogan. I knew you'd say that.
Bleep
It
that out.
it did start with Joe Rogan, but the source itself is he used to be like a priest and then became someone that actually went through like the scrolls in the Vatican.
Mm-hmm.
And then after 12 years of deciphering the Dead Sea Scrolls, which are it's like the earliest version of the Bible, the Dead Sea Scrolls, it took him 12 years to decipher. Once he deciphered it, he renounced being like a priest. He didn't want to be part of the religion anymore, and he basically said that in his opinion, those are the two only things that the Bible is telling us, that like it's all these different rituals for baby making and all these different like sacrifices for procreating, plus like all these different anecdotes for the fact that we've evolved like through creating mushroom, like we connect with God with mushrooms.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like a huge, well, that's a, you know, that's, I heard it from Joe Rogan and I looked into it a little bit. I didn't look into it to like so much. I mean, a little bit, you know.
Yeah, we'll
So
look
I could
into
be
it
full of
more.
shit, but it's fine. Plenty
It's
of people out
fine.
there full of shit.
I believe in mushrooms, though.
I do believe in mushrooms. I'm not taking any. I haven't taken any in a while.
Me
So,
neither.
but I do.
We don't do drugs.
Wait. I mean, they don't. It doesn't matter ultimately. You know.
What was I gonna say? What was I talking
We were talking about birthdays, but I want to like, um, I want to like change the like the dates because I feel like birthdays we probably had like very normal birthdays.
Yeah.
It would be cool to resurrect like that birthday question for like having like a family member of ours that might
Yeah.
remember, older family member, parental figure of some kind. But it'd be cool to just say like a random date and see if we can remember what we were doing, like March or the month of March, maybe around the middle of March, March 16th to 17th in 2011.
Is that St. Patty's Day?
I don't know. Is it? There's something about that number stood out that date, but I didn't know what it was. I was trying to see if I remembered it from something.
2011, St. Patty's Day. I think maybe. I don't think
I
I
don't know my
wore a
dates.
lot of green. It was high school for me,
Wait,
senior year.
you graduated that year?
Yeah, it was senior year high school for me. I'm pretty sure I wore maybe a little green, or maybe I forgot. What was I probably doing
I
that
didn't have any
day?
greens. I never wore green. But yeah, I don't know. I was out of high school, so that's tough for me. I had been out of high school for 10 years by that point.
No, he wasn't.
That's disgusting. Well, it's. I'm sorry. No, 2 years apart. I mean, come on, people.
You're my silver fox.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shit.
So see, that's why I was kind of like saying like more like holidays or birthdays because people remember those more.
Yeah, you're right.
But also like it could be just like a random date that something awful happened to you or something good happened to you, and you're like, what was I doing when I was having a good day on this specific day? What was like happening on the other side of the earth, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's the shit I spend like hours on thinking about.
Maybe we could make this into like a segment, like its
Okay.
own like little podcast where we could like research, like let's talk about a certain like day, and if we have a
Yeah.
story that's tied to it, and then we could research what happened on that day,
Yeah.
and like in person here, just record us documenting like what we find.
Okay.
That'd be interesting.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to get better, and I feel like taking a break definitely helped me in a lot of aspects, but I feel like rusty, and I feel like I need some oil in these hinges. Let's go. But I'm ready. But yeah, you're like, I have no idea what you're saying, dude.
Yeah. I was like, I was enjoying talking about evolution, and then then we turned it all around,
Oh, I'm
and
sorry.
then I'm just like, oh, okay. I'm like, I was thinking about taking notes. I'm just like, remember to do this for
Taking
the
notes.
yeah, because you were talking about like how to turn it into a segment, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, okay,
It just basically use a Surface Pro
yes,
to like blast it on there. We could see it and record it.
yes,
Sorry.
it's all right. We're a little stoned, huh?
I mean, I feel fine.
Okay.
Yeah. I was trying to wrap it up so we could like move on, record more,
Oh, okay.
but I didn't know how to.
I will say good night.
No, it's all weird.
And thank you for being here on this wonderful day. And next time we'll talk about July 13th, 2012.